In three, two, one. Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Sirr, CEO of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. You know what it is. And I just wanted to let you guys know that this is the next episode of Squad Goals. On this episode, we have a couple of guests. We got K. Marie of Black on Black Rhyme, also VP of the 2020 Podcast. And we got our homegirl, Kayla. If y'all been paying attention, and by the time this comes out, you've already seen our candid conversations. Kayla and I sat down on a one-on-one and just chopped it up. And it was probably one of my favorite conversations to date, just outside of business. It was just two people just talking and just putting it on the table. And that's what it was. So shout out to Kayla for joining us. We really appreciate your love. You more than you know. So the topic of today, when we got done recording our last episode, and which was excellent, by the way, it was about marrying for other reasons than love, which is, if you haven't checked it out by now, go back and watch it before you watch this one. This episode, we're going to be talking about gender roles. Are they outdated? And how do they play into the concept of a relationship nowadays in our community? And we're talking about the Black side community. So that being said, I want to give the floor to Lauren. Lauren, I wanted to know what you thought about this concept of gender roles. But before I do, I just want to give out, and you know me, last couple episodes, I've been doing homework. So I want to give what the definition of a gender role was. And this is from the Oxford Dictionary, by the way. So I ain't just Wikipedia that thing this time. So a gender role, which is also known as a sex role, it's a social role encompassing a range of behaviors and attitudes that are generally considered acceptable, appropriate, or desirable for a person based on that person's biological or perceived sex. So Lauren, I'm going to let you have the floor first. What are your thoughts on this idea of gender roles?
Well, being that I am married, growing up in a single parent home, I was taught from a single mother. So gender roles was always kind of drilled to me. A man takes out the trash, a man goes to work. You cook, you clean, you work if you want to. So, having to, watch my mom, be a single mom and do everything, I developed that wear the pants, quote unquote, energy. So I developed all of that, and I like to do everything. I like to work. I like to manage. I like to do everything but take out the trash. I think that should always stay a man's role. I don't think women should do that. I don't care. And I had a brother. So, I have a brother. So we've always had a guy there to do certain things, but, it was always instilled that a woman cooks, a woman's clean. So when I got married, I was so excited to be housewife. Well, who knew that I was going to get sick and have to lose my job and become housewife? That is the hardest job in the world. And to be back at work is the most exciting thing in the world. Because housewife, it's not just taking care of your husband, making sure his lunch is done, or, you have to do everything above the sun and make sure you have your mental health good and take care of the children and everything else. That role in general for a woman is everything. It's not just a gender role. A woman does everything, and for me, I feel like that role for me, it seems like if it becomes a money issue, if a woman works, if a woman doesn't work, if a woman makes more than her husband or her spouse or her partner or whatever, how do you feel about that? So for me, I don't think it should be a gender role. I think it's beyond outdated. And we do everything together. So that's what happens in my household.
Okay, interesting outlook. I wanted to bring this to the forefront because this is one of the topics I keep running into, especially with this podcast. I'll say about every 3 or 4 months or so, I get a new kind of interpretation of this topic. The first time we did it was what are gender roles in relation to dating. The second time we had to do it, it was what are gender roles in terms of, in the sense of community. And what I mean by that, when dating, of course, we're supposed to be chivalrous, opening doors, footing the bill and things like that. But when it comes to the community, it was brought to my attention that it's kind of skewed. It's viewed as if when it comes to supporting each other, or the masculine supporting and protecting the feminine, it seems that it's always supposed to be the man in the forefront taking the brunt, and then the women behind supporting. But a lot of times, and I'm just speaking from personal experience, I feel that that is outdated as well. I've seen a lot more social events, a lot of business events headed by women, and followed up upon men. So I want to give that to you guys. What are your thoughts as far as this concept of gender roles? Is it out of date? Does it need to be updated? Is it null and void? What are y'all thoughts? Anybody
Okay,
go?
I'll go.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go. Uh, so I believe roles should be assigned based off of who's best at it. So, like, say for instance, if I'm in a relationship or in a marriage, and my wife is better with money than what I am, you know what I mean? Like, it needs to be. I need to concede, and I think a part of that is knowing yourself and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, to be able to, and also your partner's strengths and weaknesses as well. So that, like, if I'm not good at handling money, then she handles the money. Or like in my house, my dad did all the cooking. You know, my mom, she worked, and she did, like, my dad worked too, but my dad always did all the cooking when it came to breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Like, because like his mom owned her own restaurant, so he knew how to do that. Even though my mom was in, like, the restaurant service business, like, he always had that too. So, like, every one of my brother and my sister both know how to cook, but even before my sister learned how to cook, like, me and my younger brother, we were the only, like, we learned how to cook and do things like that. So I think it's all based off of what benefits the household. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be. Now, there are certain things that you do for somebody just because you care for them, and those are things that I don't consider roles, but just, labors of love. You know what I mean? So, like, going ahead, opening doors and things like that, like, that's just showing someone that you care for them. But being able to do all the, like, it all should just be based off of who's better at it. And then, like, when it comes to decision making, like, I know sometimes they always say, like, the man has the final say. So, like, I think it needs to be still a conversation between people, because I think it is a little bit outdated to be able to have a man try to dictate things to a woman, or things like that. So, I mean, I'm just all about kind of fixing and doing what's best for the family.
And what I took most from that is the mutual conversation.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think no cookie cutter definition is going to suit anybody's kind of expectations or lifestyle. For instance, what may work for Kayla may not work for Lauren. What may work for Lauren may not work for Buck. So I think it really goes into, like you said, playing into your strengths, kind of like a meritocracy kind of. Whatever you're good at, we're going to play to that. If you play in spades, I'm going to follow your suit. You know what I'm saying? You led with an ace, I'm going to follow through. Do you think, and I'm just asking the group this, do you guys think there's more to it? Do you think it comes with, like, this antiquated type of pride that comes along with it?
There's definitely a level of pride, because when a man grows up being told there are certain things he's supposed to do. So when he doesn't fulfill those things that he was raised and taught to do, it's like something dies inside of him, almost like, I'm not fulfilling what I was told I was supposed to do. But it's all about how you grow up too, at the same time, because there are things that I know I'm just not good at. Do not ask me to make macaroni and cheese. I can cook a whole lot of other stuff, but don't ask me to make macaroni and cheese. Shut up, Jeremy. I know he's gonna say macaroni and cheese, man. Anywho, don't there are certain things that I just give up and be like, I'm not good at this. I just started frying chicken like a couple years ago. it was never my strong suit, and I'm using that as an example to show if you as a man know that there are things you cannot do, don't be trying to go around here and be the man and then screw your life up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Don't screw your life up. If the female knows how to budget money better, like Wise said, let her budget the money. Bring your check to the house. You still get to buy your video games, and you still gonna get to, like me. I use my girlfriend. She said, how are you paying bills? I was like, well, you know what I'm saying? I put a little bit on this one. I put a little bit on that one. You know what I'm saying? I put a little bit on that one next month. She said, no, we don't do that no more. I was like, we don't? So she writes out this list. You're going to pay this whole thing this time. Then you're going to pay this whole thing next time. That way you ain't got to be saying, well, I need another payment arrangement. I can tell you last time I made a payment arrangement on the bill. Like, I was living payment arrangement to payment arrangement to payment arrangement to payment arrangement to payment arrangement. You know what I'm saying? Like, bill $100, $150, I'm gonna put 75 on it. And I'm gonna put this down. No, I was not good at it. She told me I was not good at it. And that's what some men fail at. They get told they're not good at something, then be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, if you ain't good at that junk, you ain't good at that junk. If you can't play basketball, don't try to try for the NBA. So that's all I got to say.
Good point. Good point. I think it has to do with that security of yourself, being able to step back and be like, you know what? She's better at this. Let me step in. Kay, it look like you have something to say. Kay Marie, what you got for me? Kay Marie.
I thought you said Kayla.
I got and I promise you I got lost. I was like, talking to me.
That's what I'm saying. But you said K. I got it. Okay. I kind of agree with Mr. Strokes here on basically whatever we're good at. I do live in the 1960s, evidently, because I am the stay-at-home mom and I take care of the girls. She had something to say, evidently. But I am a stay-at-home mom and I take care of the girls. You can see I'm taking care of one right now because he's not home from work yet. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't plan for it to be that way. It just so happened that it behooved us to do it this way. You know what I'm saying? The expense of daycare, and it wouldn't have been worth it for me to be paying out of pocket for daycare when I could just stay at home with the girls. I guess that's a better way for me to say it. So that's how it ended up. And as for us being whoever's better at something, he was essentially better at finances, but he just helped me be better at it. As opposed to him having to take that load and that load on. We just equaled it out to where, you know, I'm handling the bills, I'm paying this, that, and the other. Now, mind you, I do make my own money as well. But my title officially is stay-at-home mom, but I'm a photographer, I'm a poet, and I'm a podcast, mate. But I do make my own money. So it's not like he's footing everything, but he is the sole breadwinner, if you want to put it that way. And I do cook and clean, but he cooks and cleans too. I just do it more than him because I'm here looking at everything. And that was just us being fair to each other. So that he doesn't have an overload of this and I don't have an overload of that. It was a great balance for us to be able to, participate with life. It stays turned over here. Okay. All right. Her birthday's tomorrow. Hey. She is all the way turned up. But it stayed right. Leo season. I knew you was gonna say something. But yeah, she stays turned up. But this way it just helps us figure life out together. You know what I'm saying? So if I have a weakness, then okay. If I have a weakness, then, he picks up that slack. If he has a weakness, vice versa, so that together, we're more whole, but we try to help each other in our weaknesses so that we're whole by ourselves and we be together. You know what I'm saying? Because, we're a force and we're together, not time that. But that's basically what I have to say on those particular gender roles. So she ain't gonna let me talk. So you go to somebody else. Kayla, I think it's your turn.
Yo, for sure, Kayla, we want to hear what you got to say.
Give me 1 second. Hold up. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you good? We'll loop back around. You know what I'm saying? We'll bend the block. So, Eternity, you rub your hands like Birdman, bro. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So I think the biggest thing I want to go back just a little bit when we were talking about gender roles and how we were raised. Um, I grew up in a two-parent household, luckily, where they didn't really exist, if that makes sense. Because both my mom and my dad could cook. Even when it came to the holidays, like my dad did all the heavy stuff, and my mom would do like a lot of the sweets, and she would do like some of the sides and things of that nature. Even when I got old enough to do so, even I stepped in to help. I love to cook. You know, that's not something that um, I think is reserved per se, you know, for the woman of the house. But like we was talking about earlier, when there are some things that you just aren't as good at, it's okay to step back and not be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? My girl is a beast on the grill. I would much rather let her do all the grilling and I would fix the sides because I don't want to mess it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and rightfully so, she is a chef, so she has that cadence and background and things of that nature. So she understands to do all the other kind of stuff. But I also grew up in this household where I watched chivalry be presented. You know what I'm saying? So it was always one of those things where it was like, you know, my dad paid the bills. Now, if my mom was lacking, you know, if my dad was lacking a little bit, or a check was short, or something was higher than imagined, then that's where my mom would step in to kind of contribute to that. And I find it being a generational difference, almost like because that's how we were raised. That's what it is. I see a lot of younger people, and I say younger, I'm talking about 25 and under per se, that have this entitlement, um, this sense of entitlement, or what seems to be a sense of entitlement, because it's like a man's supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to just sit pretty. It don't quite work like that. So I think all in all, it depends on how you were raised, what you can contribute, and how you two decide that best balances the situation. Um, I don't think that saying that one person should do this while the other person does this should exist. Honestly, I feel like there are things that a man is meant to do, but I don't think it should be one of those things where it's like, oh, you got to do this because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are things like Lauren was talking about taking out the trash. Yeah, like, babe, I got that. Don't touch that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes time to having to change a tire on a car or something like that, great, I will do that. You know, things of that nature. But I also feel like women should know how to change a tire. Because what happens if you get caught on the side of the road and I'm not available to come to you, or someone's not immediately available to come to you? That is something that, you know, she should know how to do, you know, just in case she doesn't have any help or no one stops. Because people are rude. You know what I'm saying? People are rude and people won't always stop to help you. So there are just certain life skills in general I feel like people um, should learn. You know, like I said, I think that all, same way I'm talking about, you know, women should learn how to change a tire. Men should know how to cook, especially in college, because you can't go to college and have high cholesterol at 22 because all you can eat is ramen noodles. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I'm not a fan per se of gender roles, and I just know that life skills should be developed between the two because that's really the only way that you can grow as a couple. So that's my take.
Spoken like a champ, bro. Spoken like a champ. Caleb, with the sleeve showing. Let's go, girl.
Yeah. So, how I feel about it? I mean, like, I know gender roles are definitely taught. You know, they are definitely taught at the beginning. And naturally, you feel like the dominant is supposed to take over everything, whereas the submissive or, you know, the feminist is supposed to stay in the house and, you know, just kind of figure out housework. Um, But righteously, I feel like now things just has kind of like turned around in general. You know what I'm saying? You got more women dominant when we talk, even in the classroom, like in history class. You go to history class, you know, you got this woman, you got this man. You know what I'm saying? This man here, he's the, you know, the alpha, the person that's gonna lead, and it's kind of showing in the world, whereas the woman just take care of the household. I just, like now I just feel like it's backwards. Men, a lot of men, I ain't gonna say a lot of men, a lot of boys don't know how to do what you guys are talking about. They don't. Especially the upcoming generation. Like it's ridiculous to me. You know what I'm saying? But women, like I said, women now real masculine. They gon' at this point here, they're like the breadwinner, the hustler, and it's good, but it's just like that's naturally. It's always supposed to be a man. So I don't. It's hard now. I'm just gonna say that. You know, due to the fact that like I'm considered as a masculine woman, but it's a lot of stuff I can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff I can't do. So you like it just contradicts stuff to me personally. You know what I'm saying? Even if, you know what I'm saying, a man shared a woman role, but it's crazy how women is taught to be in the kitchen, but men can cook better than women in some or most takes. You know what I'm saying? That's a big controversy right there. Or if you go to like if you go like a mechanic shop, you got some ladies that are being like the dominant people that's actually working and doing the work versus some like a dude just sitting in the background watching her do what a man's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I just think it's reverse. It's reverse right now, and it need to be taught in early on in the age. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me though. I'm kind of old school when it come down to it. You know, boys take out the trash and help with the big stuff, while the girls, you know what I'm saying, sweep, clean the dishes, and all the other good stuff. That's the era I grew up in, so that's what I kind of know.
It's funny that you brought that up, and I hope I ain't cut you off because that's exactly what I was brought into. Majority of my family had the old school mindset, like all my great aunts and uncles and stuff. The uncles and stuff was outside doing everything. And with me being younger, I was stuck inside being raised by all the women. So naturally, I have like this balance of learning how to cook at a young age just because shit in the kitchen smelled good. So I was naturally in the kitchen with them. You know what I'm saying? I was that little kid licking the little cake mixing spoon, you know what I'm saying? Because it smelled good in that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But after a certain age, and some of y'all could probably attest to this, after a certain age, my mom and my aunts would be like, go outside and see what your uncle's doing. Go out there and learn something. They're working on the car. Go learn how to do something. And I was like, well, damn, I can't learn how to, you know what I'm saying, learn how to cook no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn how to get my beignet game on point. You know what I'm saying? But I get it, though. It goes back to the point of what Eternity said. And this is where I felt like gender roles did help me a little bit. And maybe we need to reclassify it as life skills. I did learn about a radiator. I did learn about tire pressure. I did learn about, you know, how to change the tire. All these things that helped me out in the long run. Don't get me wrong. I was mad as shit that I was outside getting ate by mosquitoes, but I'm thankful for it because when shit hit the fan, I knew what to do. So I do think that's important to carry that knowledge into, you know, whomever you're talking to. I'll be riding in the car just having random conversation with my nieces, and I'll be like, you know how to change your tire? You know what a four-way is? You know what I'm saying? You know what a lug nut is? Just general stuff like that. And it gets on their nerve, but it's the fact that they need to know. I don't want them to have to find this out from somebody who's trying to take advantage of them or see a guy or a woman, whomever they may choose, as a utility versus a person, if that makes sense. You know? But I'm going to pass it over to Rob. Appreciate you coming, bro. I want to definitely hear what you got to say, brother.
appreciate you for having me. I actually got a friend. I don't know if this is against the rules or anything, but that's my friend right there. What's up, Chuck?
Salute.
And we both got some stuff to say. But
come on with it.
I'm going to try not to curse too much. But
cuss all you want.
I'm pro, do whatever the fuck you know how to do. So if the dude know how to cook. If the girl know how to cut grass, I don't like it personally. I don't think a woman should cut grass. But some of them like to do it. If they want to do it, by all means, go out there and push that stupid-ass lawnmower. You feel me? I just feel like the old school way it has its flaws, but it does have some good, like, life skills. Just like you turned to say, like, you learn a lot of life skills with it. But I don't think it should just be with, like, certain genders. And, like, just because the woman is supposed to cook, she might not like to cook. Just because the man like to, you know what I'm saying, do other stuff, doesn't mean he should do that. Like, it shouldn't be gender exclusive to certain stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's what, yeah.
Like everybody should know how to cook. Everybody should at least know how to change the tire. Just like you said, you don't want them to get taken advantage of, like on the side of the street. It's late, it's dark. Something could happen to any and everybody. Especially, you don't want to have to pay for it, because why would you want to pay for it when all you got to do is go and get the tools, you know what I'm saying, have in your trunk and you good to go. So I do feel like it's outdated. We should change it. And I do feel like the roles are a bit more reversed too. I do see a lot more harder females and softer dudes. And I don't necessarily say I don't like it. I am confused by it though. Like some of these women are actually out here taking care of these dudes because they out here hustling hard. Black women hustle hard. They make a lot of money. You know, it's not for them to do some hair, eyelashes, like start a business, sell clothes, all that stuff. Dudes, we just gotta be like, if you ain't like the alpha male or like got a good degree, it's gonna be harder for you. And then it isn't that many job opportunities that we can create, and like black men are supported the way that black women support black women. You feel me? So it's a bit weird, but I am pro do whatever the fuck you want to do. But I do think that y'all should have the discussion. Say for instance, like, I'm gonna take out the trash if you want to do the dishes, or I can do the dishes and you can sweep and stuff like that. It all depends on who the spouse is, who you're talking to, and what they like to do. That's all I got to say.
What's up, y'all? So, my upbringing is kind of similar to yours, sir. We didn't really have gender roles like that in my house. When I was real young, my dad used to work in a factory. But when I was 5 or 6, he was playing basketball and he tore both his patella tendons. He couldn't walk for 9 months. So he lost his job, couldn't work. My mom had to become the breadwinner. And, you know, it was like that whole idea, like gender roles and what a man's supposed to do around the house kind of don't make sense when you can't walk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like less like about gender roles and more doing what you got to do to keep your house afloat. Now, I feel like today, people don't really have like realistic expectations of gender roles. Like, for example, like you have somebody, they want like a church girl, but you got to like think about that. Like, are you the type of person that a godly woman would want? You know what I mean? Or say if you want somebody that's like more outgoing, but if you're not that, you know what I'm saying? People are like, you're not your ideal match is the ideal match. Basically what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of don't make sense. I feel like what you said earlier is like really rampant. People feel entitled and they want their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I feel like the longer you're with somebody, the less you less you care about the world's expectations, and you care about, you know, doing what you got to do to maintain like your house if y'all living together. So I think we are moving away from the whole gender role thing, like as a society. But, you know, I do think there's still men and women that are, you know, they want that traditional lifestyle. They want a traditional spouse, But I think that people need to be cognizant. If that's what you're looking for, you got to be what that person is looking for as well. So that's how I feel about it.
Fact. You gotta practice what you preach. Essentially, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's important. Now, Kay did write some in the chat, and I'm gonna say it out loud because, of course, the video doesn't display the chat, or I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But it says it's interesting that no one sees gender roles, but everyone has mentioned roles for men and roles for women because of our upbringing. I think that is true, Kay. I won't say it's contradictory. It's
It plays a role. It plays a big role in our life in general because that's what we taught from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like even in psychology, if you go to psychology class, it starts off, basically, your parents teach you, okay, you got a girl part, he got a boy part. You know what I'm saying? Then as you go older, okay, girls sweep and do dishes, boys mow the lawn and play outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just basically how it's taught. So it kind of, when you start not to see no role, it'd be like a later time and you just really trying to make sense to it. But me personally, it's just like, if the gender role kind of, I guess, descend away or kind of like vanish, what's going to happen? What you think is going to happen if those roles, you know what I'm saying? What's those roles?
I agree. And I think give it more time. I'm not going to say in our lifetime. I'm going to say give it about 50 years. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to dissipate in this age of technology, the age of change. I think it's going to fully dissipate. You're going to have people that, are just looking for characteristics, or looking for compatibility versus, what you physically can do, what you financially can do. Because you may be great at mowing the lawn and you might find a woman who is the breadwinner. She might, do all the taxes and stuff. She might keep everything in order. She just hate doing yard work. And you might have that fire ass conversation that she's looking for. It might work for y'all. So it's all about how you compliment that person that you're looking for. So I think we use gender roles as kind of a model because that's what we saw before us. I'm gonna get you in just a second, Lauren, because I want to make sure Ebony gets her point too. But I think we looked at it as like a model, but slowly but surely that model is like being chipped away, dissolved, and kind of dissipating as time goes. What about you, Ebony? But I got you, Lauren. We're gonna get you next, baby.
Okay. So yeah, y'all made some real good points out there. One thing I wanted to add, like me and Lauren were both saying about the conditioning, I've always viewed, not always, let me go back. After I got out of high school and went to college, I viewed gender roles, or started to view gender roles, as more of manipulation in a way, or control, let's say control. Because there were times when I can remember trying to go outside and playing with the boys. Say, for instance, I was the only girl around the house, and I'm trying to go outside and play with the boys. My granddad would look at me and be like, girl child's supposed to be in the house with the women. Girls not supposed to be out here. You need to be in the house with your mama. Or there would be times when I would try to play video games with my little cousins, and, because they home for the summer. I'm the only chick. I can't play the video games, but at the same time, they can't play with my baby dolls. So I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. That's just what it was. And I feel like it's all they knew. Back then, their gender role was their identity. And it wasn't about balance. It was about maintaining the status quo that was already set before you. So I think now we're learning that it doesn't have to be this certain way. We don't have to sit here and maintain everything that we were taught. We actually have the thought process to say, hey, well, I love to cook. I just don't want to cook Monday through Friday. I only want to cook on Saturday, Sunday. So I'm just going to cook on Saturday, Sunday. Or if, say, for instance, with me, say, for instance, if I was married and my husband was a better nurturer, I feel like just because he's a man, that doesn't mean that he can't be a nurturer. that doesn't mean that he can't exude that feminine trait. Because I feel like men, women, everybody, because it's only two sexes, like everybody has both male and female aspects. I feel like it's balanced based on who you are, not necessarily on what somebody else says you are or who you are. So I feel like you have to find that balance within yourself and then bring that to the table like that. And like you said about compliments, I feel like that's where the compliments come in. That balance. If you know what your balance is and he know what his balance is, then y'all know whether y'all puzzle fit together. Y'all puzzle pieces fit together. So that's just what I think. You know, I'm gonna leave it right there because I had some old. Oh, I just also want to make it known not all men know how to change tires. I have dated a man that did not know how to change my tire, so he had to call somebody else. After he finally got to me, he called somebody else to come to us to change my tire. So, and it happened to be a woman at that. So I just want to make it known that just because we mentioned that all females don't cook, all men don't know how to change tires either, or mow the grass, or wash their clothes. So there's that balance.
I got a question real quick. So how y'all feel about the saying, like, you know, supposed to be like, my daddy tell me if a man don't know how to change the child, do what you need him to do, then why you with him? How y'all feel about that statement?
I'm gonna just come on out and burst the bubble in the room. So I give you a quick synopsis, and I'm gonna touch on what Evan has said. So I grew up in a household where it was me, my mom, my dad, my sister. My mom and dad got divorced 2000, so up in there. So about that time, I was 10 years old, where I should have been learning how to do a lot of stuff. My dad, most of everybody's on here from Mobile. My dad lived all the way in the bottom. I lived in DIP. I ain't see my daddy for real, unless we went on that side of town. So I didn't have that male around me teaching me stuff. I'll go ahead and say it. I still do not know how to change a tire. Straight up. That's a lot of other shit I know how to do. It's a lot of shit I don't know about cars. Straight up. Point blank period. Now, there's a lot of shit that I'm learning because I bought my first car. But my dad, who was supposed to be in that position and teaching me that shit and supposed to be doing that shit, dropped the damn ball. And he wondered why I be feeling the way I be feeling about him sometimes. He dropped the ball. It wasn't my uncle's job to teach me that. It wasn't the guys at the church to learn how to teach me that type of stuff. My dad is supposed to teach me that type of stuff. Now, do I believe I can still learn how to change a tire and do it successfully? Yeah, of course. I have enough common sense and brain sense. So I grew up in a house with women. Y'all know my sister. You know what I'm saying? Robert tell you, I cook a whole meal, whole house be busting. I can cook on the grill. I was on the grilling, outside on the grill, to the kitchen frying fish, to doing all the other type of stuff. All that type of stuff I know how to do. I can bake a whole cake. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, but there are other manly things, of course, I know how to do. There are other manly attributes. I can cut grass. Now, I'm be sick as a dog because I got allergies, but I like cutting grass. I do. I like that shit. I like to make this shit line up, go belt down, back and forth. I can weed eat, pull. I can do all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, I was slighted. I was slighted by my dad, by him not stepping in and doing those things that he was supposed to do. I look at my dad now, he just still don't be doing shit. I mean, straight up, man, he still don't be doing shit. I mean, so, yeah, I got that off my chest. I'm going to put my phone back on mute now.
You mind if I chime in real quick?
Go for it.
Cause I don't want to forget this, and like all of this stuff, Lauren was like, fix your face. All of this stuff has been loading the entire time that I've been listening to this conversation. So I want to pull back just a little bit, and we talked about conditioning in the South, and this is a whole nother topic for another conversation. But we often talk about how Black mental health is not discussed well enough, especially by Black men, and it's because as men we have been conditioned that we're not supposed to show our emotions, that we're not supposed to show our feelings, that we're not supposed to know, or not that we're not supposed to know, but Like you talked about these gender roles and how cooking is supposed to be this and that. You talk about conditioning, not only in your household, but you think about the conditioning that you had to deal with when you were in school. Guys weren't supposed to take home ec. What you doing at home ec where you learning how to sew an apron, where you learning how to cook, where you learning how to do all of this other kind of stuff. You were made fun of. You were called names. You were called out of your gender identity. You were called out of all of this stuff because now it's a lot more, it's not PC to say certain things. But when I was coming up and when I graduated from high school, yo, there was no PC anything. You know what I'm saying? If people thought you was away, they thought you was away, and they was gonna call you that. They didn't give a damn how you felt about it or not. You know what I'm saying? You even think back to how you get women who talk about how they want a man with dirty fingernails because that means that he's masculine and that he did all this other kind of stuff. But then I joined a fraternity that made you make sure that your fingernails were cut and that they were trimmed and that they were clean because no woman wants to be touched by dirty hands, and that no, you know, as a man, that it's okay to have strong hands, but it's okay to take care of yourself. But it was not okay to take care of yourself. Like they made it not okay to take care of yourself. Then they tried to label it metrosexual because you were okay with clothes that actually fit. That you wore a polo and a button down or a button down and some slacks, or you wore suits and things of that nature. Like they tried to label you something that all you were was being you. You were being a man. You were being an adult. You were being grown. Just because I never wanted to wear my pants hanging off my ass didn't make me any less of a man in anything that I did, period. But to too often we are conditioned to believe that we're not supposed to do certain things, once again, because of gender roles and how we are conditioned. Now, I'm going to pull back to what Malcolm was talking about, and even what Ebony was talking about. Yeah, you absolutely right. Not all men know how to change a tire. I'm not saying all men know how to change a tire. There's a lot of stuff on the car that I can do. There's a lot of stuff on the car I can't do. That's what mechanics are for. That's what mechanics get paid for. But then you also go back to talking about what Rob was talking about. And black women are on they shit right now. I know so many women under the age of 25, under the age of 30, whatever the case may be, that are selling hair, that are doing lashes, that are doing anything that they can. They got boutiques. They are doing everything that they can to develop this sense of independence. And so I completely understand that. Why would a woman want a man that can't contribute to her empire that she's already building? But likewise, it's almost frowned upon if a guy who has his shit together doesn't want to be with a woman who don't have her shit together. Like, oh, you're supposed to fall in love right now and you can build off of love and you can, no, fuck all that. Because the bottom line is, if I got my shit together and I did everything that I was supposed to do as a man, and I was raised the right way, I did everything I was supposed to do, I did everything that I needed to do, I got the education, I pay the bills, I can cut my own grass, I can cook my own meals. What the fuck I need you for if you can't contribute to this relationship? Period.
I can make my own pizza rolls. Get your ass on.
Look, eternity.
like for real.
You hold on. I gotta put eternity in timeout. You just went the fuck off. Cool off, goddammit. Yeah, it's
I
just.
thought he was performing, y'all. I thought he gave us the whole show.
For real. Like,
Bro, hit a pause. I thought a pause was going to start.
like women know
Gender
now.
roles, men
Women
and
know
women.
now. They can't do nothing with a dude that ain't doing nothing. But yeah, if a dude got some money and he with a girl who ain't got nothing, it's just frowned upon. Like, that's double standard to me, and I don't like it. It's pro, do whatever the fuck you want to do.
It's a point he
Like,
made about the pants sagging.
Yeah,
I make $35,000 a year, and I got my own apartment and my own shit. But if my pants ain't sagging, you don't want to fuck with me.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Almost like, and it goes to the word he used, condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some females, not all, some females are conditioned to believe that is a gold medal or piece of attainment. Like, my nigga be in the street selling them drugs, and that's my nigga. He be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're told that that's what they're supposed to have.
I'll say this: it's a two-way street, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Lauren have it because I was supposed to let Lauren have it like 4 people ago, so I forget about you. It's a two-way street. Whereas some women have, and I call it young-minded. I'm just gonna call it spade a spade. When you're looking for what looks good to wear across your arm, that's what you celebrate. So if you're young, and that goes across all age groups, all demographics, everybody likes trophies. But at the end of the day, if a trophy can't compliment you when the lights aren't on, what the fuck you got a trophy for? And I've seen that done with men and women. I've seen men who only deal with women who got a fat ass. But if you ask her what a stereotype is, she gonna say Sony. You feel me? So I've seen it on both ends. It's a two-way street. So go ahead, Lauren.
Eternity actually touched on a lot, and Ebony. The one thing I did want to say was when Rob made the statement about younger women, Black women being on their stuff and not a lot of Black men having the same opportunities, like things aren't presented to them or they won't get the same support. With the gender role, quote unquote, is not okay. Like when we go to work, we have to deal with all types of shit. And then we have to come home and be the quote unquote housemaker, Betty maker, whatever you want to call it. You know, so for me, that was like a, you know, but I understand that was like agree to disagree kind of thing. As far as the gender roles, like as far as the cutting grass, I think we were just like cracking jokes about the tires, the grass, and we make less as women. Black women, I go through hell. I actually lost my last job because my boss called me an overachiever. He told me that I did nothing wrong on my every evaluation I had was spotless. In my evaluation, he wrote that I was an overachiever and that I needed to slow down because I was good at my job. You know, so that for me lit a fire in me to go be my own boss because I didn't want to have somebody, you know, put me in a box anymore. You see what I'm saying? And then as far as our household, when it comes to my husband and I, we don't have a lot of, he grew up, my husband, a lot of y'all know, if most y'all don't, my husband is Asian, so he's conditioned, like we said, to take care of the household, no matter what. No matter how tired he is, exhausted, it don't matter. In a family, men take care of everything, women sit down, do nothing. So for me, with us, it had to become a pride thing. The pride thing you have when the men, some men can't come to you and say, babe, I can't handle this. For them, it feels like they're failing at their job and at their role that they're supposed to be good at. So some men can't accept not being good at something or not, you know what I'm saying? Because in their mind, they're failing. You see what I'm saying? And when a man feels like he's failed, you know, he starts to clam up, he starts to go into the shell, he goes into a place that he doesn't need to go to, you know? And then as far as like knowing how to do a lot of stuff for me, I grew up again in a single parent home, so I had to do both. My mama was one of those things, if the check was short, we didn't have nobody to come back. It was like, okay, I'm gonna make some shake and we'll be back. You know, that's how I grew up. So I'm a hustler by nature. I'm intrigued by everything. I know how to change the tire. I even know how to wire your house because I went to become an electrician just because I wanted to learn how to do it. I didn't finish the program. It was too damn hot out there, but I learned how to do it, you know, because I was intrigued. You ain't gonna meet nobody like me. Just like I might meet nobody like you. You know what I'm saying? But like he said, it comes with compliments. But I think a lot of it is, like you said, it has to do with your household. But with men, I think it has to be like a support system as well. Like they have to have not only somebody compliment them, but somebody that encourage them and give them the opportunity to be vulnerable or you know, help them understand that it's okay to make a mistake. Because like you said, we're conditioned at a young age, like the whole not being able to have feelings and stuff. My husband didn't cry. Like he don't cry. Like it took him one day and he started crying one time and I was like, what the hell? Like, you know, I had been begging him to, you know, show his emotions because he's conditioned to not cry, to not show emotion, to suck it up, to bury it. And it wasn't until we got together that actually happened. And it was like he cried for so long. And I was like, well, damn, you know, how long I've been paying your back? I didn't say it, you know, and I felt his pain, but it was almost like it was hurting me because it was sad that you guys have to go through that. Y'all are conditioned to not even show your emotions at all. You know, and like Eternity said, how people stereotyped you in school, the bullying, quote unquote, if you didn't look a certain way, if you wanted a certain thing, if you wanted to, you know, do a certain thing, you were already labeled, you were already cast out. And I think that alone goes with how you condition and how you grow up to take care of your things in the household, not only from your household, but, you know, what you had to go through in school too, because sometimes that shit still is buried deep down, and you don't even realize that, damn, it's still affecting me that people thought I was gay because I had clean nails and I wanted to cook. You know what I'm saying? So it's some stuff is still affecting people, and people don't really acknowledge that. But that's all. I love y'all.
Word. Go ahead, bro.
Kind of bouncing off you were saying, Lauren. I do think it's kind of a misconception that men are like absolutely conditioned not to open up. We're conditioned not to open up around women. I've been on football teams. I went to military school. I've been places where it's like nothing but dudes, and like we're vulnerable around each other. We're taught not to be like that around women. I don't know why it's like that. I know with me, my mother, she didn't want to raise no punk. Like that's her words. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody bullied me, we was going to their house and shit. I was either gonna win or lose, but I was gonna fight. That's how it's gonna happen. But my dad wasn't really like that. You know, and like he would catch me trying to, you know, not show my emotions and let me be like, you know, he would let me like, yeah, it's okay if you feel like this. You know, you could cry like I'm your daddy. You can cry around me. I've seen it with my football coaches. He used to bring his 6-year-old son to practice, and one day the boy fell, hit his head on the bleachers, and he was just sitting there like trying as hard as he can not to let it out, not to cry. But the little boy's 6, he hit his head on metal. And so his dad called him over, and he was like, you around us, you around the team, you could cry around us. And, you know, I think it's weird. Kids pick up on gender roles and what they are and aren't supposed to do very early. My daughter is 4, and she's always like, you're a boy, Daddy, you can't do this. Daddy, why you wear, I got this pink polo I like to wear. Daddy, you wear pink, like stuff like that. And I don't know, it's weird because like the gender roles, I feel like only come into a play when you're around the other gender.
Certain people. Yeah, exactly. I
You know what I mean?
agree. That's crazy that you say that, because I was just listening to Sean T's podcast, and the quote one of the people said, you know how when a child falls, like you said, a little boy was crying, he was trying his hardest not to cry. We're conditioned to say, it's okay, get up, don't cry. You know, instead of just saying it's okay, cry, let it out. Just, you know, let it be, because we're already teaching them, even if they fall, whether it's a little girl or a little boy, to not even show their emotion. You know,
right.
Don't make, you know what I'm saying, don't make I don't know if you guys ever heard it, don't make a sudden mood if a little kid falls, because they gonna start crying if they see that you care. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's already like we're conditioning them anyway, regardless, not even knowing that we're doing it, because it was instilled in us. Like we said, we were conditioned, and we're fighting against it to get it out of us. But it's hard when, you know, that's something that you've been through your entire life, and you do stuff indirectly. Like for me, as little girls, you don't sit in no man lap. And I teach my daughter that. But at the end of the day, she just sitting in her daddy lap. She don't know that this man, you know, that people out here raping and it's pedophiles out here. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that I'm saying that we're conditioning ourselves, and we're teaching them indirectly, and we don't even know. So that,
yeah, definitely. I see myself doing that a lot. Like my youngest, she's 1, and like she'll wear like a little tank top or something, and it'll start falling down, and like her nipple will come out. I'm like, oh, baby, don't do that. Blah, blah, blah,
right,
blah, blah.
you know, because
but it's like
it's sad.
That's not even something that crossed her mind. That's not even something that's me. That's me tripping. Like it's not even only crossed her mind. Yeah, so I do think gender roles come into play when there's actually 2 genders present. I will say this, guys, we do put on a show when women are around. Like it's no secret when you do act a certain way. But like if you go into like a football locker room or like into the barracks at like my military school, like you'll see dudes like doing stuff that a lot of people quote unquote consider gay. Like, you know what I mean? Just like random, like, you know how like women will show like physical affection. Like some dude might just come lean, like I might lean up on Rob like this if he was in my barrack. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, what you doing, bro? Blah, 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 blah. He's sitting on the computer. And, you know, it's not, you don't think nothing of it. But it's like when you get around that other gender, Now it's like you got to play that role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like it's everybody's cast.
You gotta become somebody else.
It's an audition for it, basically. And nobody wants to play that part.
Oh, that's a good word. You said it's an audition. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I agree.
Yeah, that's all I had to say, though.
I just feel like even with all of the opinions that have been said, I think that our generation is trying to break that mold, because even like I told you, I have daughters, like, you know, they're going to know how to change a tire. They're going to know how to take the trash out. I don't even take out the trash. You know, that's our thing. You don't fold clothes. I don't take out trash. That's what it is. But that ain't got nothing to do with me being a female and him being a male. And that's just what it is. But I know that our girls are going to know how to, you know, play ball. They're going to know how to, you know, throw a football and how to tackle. Like, they're going to know how to fight, you know, all of that. Because I feel like as a person, we all need to be well-rounded. You know what I'm saying? And he feels that way too. And like I was saying, even with us, you know, we have certain things that, you know, manly. I put that in the chat that we keep saying, oh, this is a manly thing to do. You know, I do men stuff like this, or, you know, I'd rather her do girly stuff like this. You just said that when you were talking about your little girl. But I mean, I think that we're so conscious of it now that we're trying so hard to break that mold. So by the time it gets to our children having children, I feel like there's not going to be any gender roles, especially on account of, I mean, we can talk about as Dave Chappelle would say, the alphabet people. But we will talk about them and their fight, you know what I'm saying, to be equal in this and equal in that, you know what I'm saying. I lost my whole train of thought because I started laughing in my head. But they're even trying to not make this so mannish, or not make this so, you know, girlish. I identify as this, therefore this is what I want to do. I identify as this, therefore this is what I want to do. So I think that within the next 2 generations, all of these roles are going to be broken. And I'm very, very interested to see what's going to come out of it. Like, what's it going to be? Is it going to be all female mechanic classes and all female? There's already all female, like, motorcycle clubs and things like that. And you don't expect to see them. You know, somebody said girls, I want to say it was Rob, girls don't want to get their hands dirty. You know, girls supposed to be over here. And Ebony was like, you know, the man child, the girl child's supposed to be in the kitchen. I don't know why I wanted to say girl child. But the girl child wasn't supposed to be in the kitchen, this, that, and the other. I just feel like all of that is about to cease and desist. And I think that, honestly, I think the world's going to be better for it, because it's not going to be an expectation. I always feel like expectation is the greatest form of heartbreak. So if we walk into something, I want to be in the motorcycle club too. But if we walk into something and expect this, if I walk up to a door and there's a man in front of me, am I supposed to expect the man to hold the door for me? I get men all the time. If I'm walking to a gas station, I hold the door for men. They be like, no, you can go in. No, you go ahead, brother. And it's not that I'm against chivalry or anything, but I just feel like y'all need to see what it feels like too. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's just my viewpoint on it. But I feel like everything is supposed to be well-rounded, because as individuals, that's how we become a better individual. When you have this part of this side and this part of this side, and it comes together, everybody needs the yin and the yang, so to speak, and everyone needs the man and the female. I guess so. That's why female has male in it. You know what I'm saying? It's both of them. You're supposed to be well-rounded. That's what it is. But of course, she hype up again. That's all I got to say.
I'm glad you said something. I'm really glad you mentioned reversing the role by holding the door for the men. And I'm going to be transparent here. I actually have that issue to this day. It's so hard for me to take a gift from a woman. And that's just a personal insecurity, because 2 reasons. One, I always feel like there's more to it than just the gift giving. I always feel like there's going to be some sort of entitlement. And 2, there's always that fear of, well, if things don't go how I like it, I'm going to take my gift back. And I know, before anyone jumps down my throat, that has nothing to do with gender. It's just character. I know it, but I just run into that fear more when dealing with women. Truth be told, before we started recording, literally had that issue just happen. A gift was given to me to compliment my podcast. I received a text message asking me, am I still using it? I said no because at the time I was not using it. And now she wants it back. Now, would I be wrong if I said, no, it's mine? But because I expected this from jump, because I already am conditioned, because I'm not going to lie, my mom told me some of the most toxic truth stuff I ever heard. If a woman buys you something, do not get attached to it, because at the drop of a dime, it can be taken away from you. And I hate to say it. I hate to recite it on here because I know I'm going to get lit up in the comments when people see this. It's so true. It's so true. So
a big fact, bro. A big fact.
It is extremely large facts.
I got your back, cuz.
Say what?
I disagree.
I said I got your back because I completely understand. I have been in those situations, the same exact situation that you were describing right now. And for that reason, unless it comes from somebody that I know, like, I mean, I know, like, if it don't come from my girl or my goddaughter or like a family member, I'm real hesitant about accepting stuff from women that I don't really know, because you feel like they're doing it for a specific reason, and you feel like that if you don't follow through for that specific reason, they're gonna want it back. And so, I had stuff that I had never used, and it just sat there because it was given as a gift, and then it was like, well, if you don't want to be with me, then I want my stuff back. Fine, here, Fresh Prince taught me that. The Fresh Prince taught me that. If you remember, it was that girl it was an episode where a girl gave him all these gifts because she was trying to be popular. And as soon as she got popular, she wanted all her shit back. So, bro, I feel you on that. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I definitely feel you on that.
Bro,
I disagree.
I've been through that. I was in a marriage. I was in a whole marriage. And I didn't have a car. I purchased my very first car last year. So when I got into the marriage, there was already 2 cars there. So, of course, I was driving one. And I was told, this is your car. You can drive it. Get where you need to go. Yada, yada, yada. But when there's a disagreement, my ass was walking to work. You get what I'm saying? My ass was walking to work. Or I was just at the house. So when I got it going towards the end of my marriage, when I went and bought my car, Jeremy, you remember, I went and got the car. We and Jeremy talked about that thing for about a good week, 2-3 weeks. Went and got it. I just parked it in front of the apartment like nothing. I didn't say, hey, I went and got a car or nothing, because we was finna be through. So the question was asked, what are some things you've done without me in the last 2 to 3 weeks? And it was like, I went and got a car. The statement that was made when I made that statement was, I don't know why you went and did that. Almost like I wasn't supposed to. Because the thing was, as long as I'm letting you use this car, I have you. Jerry, you remember my picture? I have you. Nice. I have you here. But as soon as I broke out of that mold, and it is going back to what Jerry was saying, like, it was almost like it's a problem. So it's almost like the gift or the allowance of the item being used comes with a consequence. Even now, if my girlfriend get me something, I say thank you, but I know where her heart is coming from. It's about the person. So Jeremy, for you, it's about the person. If you know that person is coming from a good heart, you feel me? But I already know. I'm ready to throw some bows. I'll be down there this weekend. All right,
I'm gonna let Lauren go, because Lauren look like she disagrees. So I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna address the comments in just a second after Lauren. You gotta unmute yourself, baby.
I don't. Oh, stop it! I was coming. No, for real. No, I disagree because I guess because I'm just kind of weird like that. I don't believe in doing it. I love to give gifts. I love to cater to my man. I love to do all of that stuff. And I like to do just because I like to listen to what you're talking about and then just surprise you with it, because that's just how I am. So I don't believe in that, but I have had that happen to me. I even had somebody put everything on that they bought me on social media and tell the world that they bought it for me and I was ungrateful and that they wanted it back. So I have been through some horrible stuff. So that's why I said I get it, but I don't think all people are like that, because I'm not like that, but I've dealt with somebody who made sure the world knew that he bought me all kinds of stuff and that I was ungrateful and that I needed to give it back. So, yeah.
So my question is, how do I do that discernment? You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give a ratio out of, let's say, 10. Out of the 10, I'm gonna say 7 have done this. So now, with that being a vast majority, why should I have to? And maybe this is part of my insecurity speaking, but I'm just speaking for guys who deal with this. Why should I have to open myself up to potential hurt just to fulfill a nurturing feeling that you want to give me? And I understand
I think
sometimes
that
gift
you,
giving is a love language. I get that. But
yeah,
as far as for me,
On the streets, Camry.
as far as for me, gift giving is literally the lowest one. I took the test. It's literally the lowest one for me. And it's because of that. It's a sense of, I would much rather you help me. I would much rather you compliment me in something that I'm trying to engage in rather than shower me with gifts, because I don't trust it. It feels like it's a entitlement with it. But go ahead, Lauren.
I just feel like you need to take the expectation out of the person. You know how you go into relationships and you expect somebody, you put somebody on a pedestal, you do all of this stuff, and you might not put that person that's happening on a pedestal, but you're already expecting the worst. But you're expecting the worst, and you've already know how this person is. So your expectation for them to screw up is already like here. So once they do it, it's like, yes, I've been proven right. But what does that prove? It proves that you're right, and you're hurt, and that you're going to get in their mind, just like some women think all men are dogs. You know what I'm saying? You're going to let that situation that happened once or twice, affect your thinking overall. You see what I'm saying? So I just think you should take the expectation out of it and out of that person, because I mean, in a sense, that's just you. I mean, because if I would have let that one incident that I went through screw me up, then I wouldn't have got my husband, because he gives a lot.
But I
So I
guess
think it depends on a person.
that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, how does one rinse in
So,
order to
Jerry,
not be skewed?
So
this is what you do. It's like Lauren said, it is about the person. You know who you fucking with, and you know if the person that you fucking with is about that life. You get what I'm saying? Especially if you've known them for a while, you've seen consistent good characteristics and behavior. You get what I'm saying? You know. You get what I'm saying? But if in taking your test study, apparently them 3 people you talking about must have some type of consistent characteristics of doing something right. You get what I'm saying? We know these 7 trash. We know they're trash off rip. But apparently these 3 must have shown some type of consistent sign of behavior to show you that they really mean who they are, and they really go by what they are and what they do. So it's a discernment to be able to take that data and say, okay, if this person gives me a gift, I can just about know that they're giving me a gift because they really want to give me something. And like you said, they listened to what you was talking about and did it. This light right here, this light was bought for me. I needed a light. The person heard me say something about the light. They heard me have a whole conversation with somebody about the type of light that I need to get. I get a text message saying, send me the link to the light that I need to buy. So that showed me a consistent behavior. Okay, they was listening to that conversation I had that day. So yeah, you're right. It's those 7 people, they trash. But if you know the person that you're dealing with gives you something, and you've been around them, you know their characteristics, they've never proved you wrong on anything, even the stuff that you thought was off. Because we could be thinking something off about the person all day long, and they still haven't proved that wrong. That's the person you rinse it off for. You still keep your guard up, because I know you still gonna keep that guard up. You just not gonna let nobody cross you like that. But for that person that you know and you feel in your heart and your spirit that it connect, you let your guard down in that sense. Because then what you're going to do is that person that's good to you, you're going to alienate them and make them feel some type of way because you put the wrong guard up for the wrong person.
I know you had a point, bro.
well, I always look at how people act when they're upset. because or how they deal with, say for instance, if they get into a disagreement with a friend or things like that, because that'll be a good like indicator on how they're going to treat you in the future. And so like kind of to go against what was said a little bit before, I don't think it's that you have an expectation of failure. I think you don't have an expectation. So that's what I think it is, where you're not expecting anything from them, even them to be decent. And so that's where it's not that you're saying, okay, all women are bad, but you have to show me that you're good in that certain instance.
Right.
So as far as everything else, like just that's how I peep game. You know what I mean? If say for instance they get into it with their family members or friends, and they talk about, well, I should take this back, or I've done this for them, or I've done that for them, then they're doing it with strings attached. They're not doing it because they want to. Because like if somebody asks, like you and I've had these conversations where if somebody asks you for something, you give it to them with the expectation of never ever getting it back. Even if it's like, if they say it's a loan or something like that, you go ahead and you just give it to them knowing that, hey, I may get this back, hey, I may not, but it's just about what they want to do from there.
Fact. I appreciate that. And I think that's what I was trying to convey, just couldn't get into words. And in that, I was condemning all women or nothing like that. It was just, I feel jaded receiving a gift. And it's especially tough on like birthdays, because people be like, oh, what you want for your birthday? And I'm like, nothing. I'm good. It's natural. It's just my response. And it's hard to kind of rinse and repeat and give everybody a clean slate and expect the best out of everybody. I'm naturally pessimistic. Naturally. I naturally am an analytical person. I try to make 1 + 1 = 2 in all facets. So if the data shows a history of this, that's what I'm referring to. If my personal experiences show a history of this, that's all I have to go by. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I proceed forward. But I appreciate y'all being transparent. Did anybody else want to chime in on that?
What's the question?
Just discussing how receiving gifts and the motivation behind gifts, how that can rub people the wrong way, pretty much.
I mean, I'm gonna say this because I'm a giver. I would give somebody the shirt off my back. You know what I'm saying? But it makes it hard for people like me, because I come about so many people with so many hidden agendas, to where it make me look at everybody else crazy. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just like now it's harder. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to blindside if somebody have an agenda and not just do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to do it. You have to be a real, genuine person, you know what I'm saying, in order for that to take place. Only because of, how many times somebody could really just be giving you something just to give you something. Now, the people with hidden agendas, I feel like God show you signs before that. You know what I'm saying? So you know when to take the gift and when to be like, okay, yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, people show malicious signs before they give the gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you could tell based off conversation. For real. Like, I can tell if you genuine or not based off the conversation we have. How many, what you doing, conversation we have. You know what I'm saying? If it's just basic, what you doing, nothing. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like, that nobody, it's the way they talk to you through the process kind of shows the agenda behind the gift. Because communication is big, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can tell if somebody from you just based off talking to them the first day, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That's me.
Well, can I say something real quick? Oh.
But to me, like, gifts, I wouldn't necessarily say that it is gender specific, but I will say whenever I give somebody a gift, I don't expect nothing in return. A gift is a gift, no matter what happens in the near future. I might say something about it and be like, "Give it back," but I don't really mean it. You feel me? I just be messing with them. And I do know some women, of course, they get you some. They don't like what you putting them through, or they don't like the situation, or they don't like that it's going their way, and they will take it back. But I do know this other one, she gave me some. She ain't never asked about it ever again. It was like a limited edition type of thing, and it was like super big, and I was scared to even like fool with it because of like past experiences, like them asking for the gift bag in case something don't go their way and stuff like that. But for me, I give you whatever. Like if I give you something, I don't expect to get it back because most of the time I don't even need it or use it. So that's just me.
I think that when it comes to gifts, so I've gotten better about it, about receiving gifts. I've been a giver most of my life. I think the one thing about receiving gifts from people and being conditioned, there go that word again, being conditioned to not receive gifts the same way is because a lot of people don't give the way that you give. Like that energy is not reciprocal. And that becomes a thing too. It's almost like if you're gonna half-ass this, I would rather you not do it at all. You know, if you say you're gonna do something, I would appreciate it if you did it completely. I want you to do it fully. You know, if and it's not to say that it has to be that way. Like I'm not looking for anything, but attention to detail is major. Attention to detail is major. So when people, you know, sometimes people feel obligated to give you something just because you gave them something, but their heart isn't in it the same way your heart was in it. You know, if I know my girl likes roses, but she specifically likes yellow roses, I don't have to have a holiday to go purchase yellow roses. It doesn't even have to be a dozen roses. I might just go get a single yellow rose and accent it on her dinner plate or something like that. There, you know, there are small things like that that matter too. And sometimes I think the attention to detail in regards of giving the gift is just as important as the gift itself. So I think that's something that you definitely have to take into account for. But then also, you know, I think that part of me not necessarily wanting to receive gifts was the fact that I felt like people didn't give the way that I gave. And once again, it's just like, you know, if we're gonna have this type of energy, make it reciprocal. Now I have gotten some really nice things that I was just like, fuck is this for? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what did I get this for? And it's like, oh, just for being you. And it's like, nah, it's something else, man. So you be kind of hesitant to accept it. And then eventually, I mean, you realize, oh, they were serious. Like this was just a just because gift. I don't think men specifically are used to that. Honestly, I just think men aren't used to that. Men are used to being given under condition, whereas a lot of times, and it goes both ways, because a lot of men will try to buy a woman things just to get their attention, for sex or whatever the case may be, whereas a woman might try that same thing for love. They try to buy you affection, or they try to buy you this to pull you in one direction or another. And all in all, I think that, like Heather was saying, you know, it's just honest communication, because communication is everything, and you just have to be able to apply those narratives within the relationship, within the bounds, even within friendships, because gift giving is out. It doesn't necessarily have to be just relationship. You know, it could be things that are between friends. I'm that type of friend that if I see that you need something, like Malcolm was saying earlier, you know, if I see that you need something, I see you talking about something, and I'm able to do it just as a nice gesture, it might just be something I want to do out the kindness of my heart. I don't have nothing behind it. It's just something that needs to be done because you either needed it, or if it's something that you wanted and I want to do it for you and I know it's going to make your day as your friend, I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Ebony?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, he already brought up my point, so he kind of just put that Mubada on there. You know what I'm saying? I was just gonna make the point that up until the last probably couple years, the majority of the dates I went on men, I paid more than the men did, and we always put this stigma that the man has to pay. I'm not the type of woman, but I can't say that I don't pay attention to it because I feel like the way you begin in the beginning is usually how you're going to end it. It may not be how you go through the process, but I feel like it has a stigma of ending that same way. So I've gotten in this phase where I kind of, like he said, I reciprocate. I know I'm a giver. So instead of just giving 100% all the way, I wait to see what you're going to do, what you're going to contribute. If you're not contributing what I feel like I would normally contribute, I match. And a lot of people kind of, I guess you could say, kind of critique me for that, but I feel like that saves me because I don't want to go through another relationship where I'm sitting here, I spoil you on Valentine's Day, I spoil you on Christmas, I spoil you on your birthday, and on my birthday, all I get is some grown-up time. On Christmas, which my birthday is the day before Christmas, I feel like men say sex is not a gift. So that's what I used to get. That was my gift for birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day. But I was the one spending the money on the hotel, buying all these balloons, buying roses, buying teddy bears and crap. I did all that stuff. And I felt like I was a man in that instinct. You know what I'm saying? It's not because of necessarily who he was. I just felt like I was a giver. So because he wasn't giving anything to me, I felt like I had to meet him halfway, which I kind of went all the way 75%, and he came 15. There still was some slack no, it was some slack. It was some slack, about 10%, where nobody was filling the gap. I know math. All right, but yeah. Anyway, just roll with me. I just feel like, me personally, now, since you talked about discernment, I discern based on your actions in the beginning. So I use that as a guide through the process. Now, if you surprise me, then I can surprise you. You buy me something and I wasn't expecting it, then I know now I can be the type of person to go and buy you something when you don't expect it. If I know that you support me, then I know I can support you. I try to find the balance in it. Balance, conditioning, there we go. I'm done.
Okay.
So I feel Dre, and I'm sorry, Eternity, and I feel Ebony. Oh, it don't matter. Okay. I know him big, well, not, I know him personally, but I don't feel like I should have to give on a holiday just because it's a holiday, because somebody else made that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I see something, I'm gonna get it for you. If I thought of you, it cannot even be like, my husband, a best friend, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm like, oh, she wears this all the time, let me get these. She likes them. I'm gonna go ahead and pick them up and give them to you because that's kind of from my heart. And I never expect anything in return. You know what I'm saying? It's literally out of the kindness of my heart. I've just never given anyone something and then took the shit back. Like I've just never done anything like that. That's why I was like, where y'all find these women? But I'm not from Mobile. So I think all y'all have in common is Mobile. I'm not from around here. I just live here now. You see what I'm saying? So maybe y'all need to stay up out these streets. But I do recall being with a boyfriend and he had bought me a name necklace. My name on a goddamn necklace, okay? All right. Some dude was flirting with me. He was a friend of a friend. He had came to talk about this mutual friend, and he attempted some other stuff and whatever, and I ended up having to him up, kick him out of this shit. This is years ago, guys. And then I told him about it because I'm a upfront type of chick, and he was like, thank you. And he was like, you know what? Let me get that necklace back. Took the necklace back, hung it up in his room like it was something to have on me. You know what I'm saying? Something to hold over me. You know what I'm saying? Like petty. But I told that story to say this. This guy also whooped my ass in the street. Okay, pull the car over, whoop my ass in the street. So that was the boiling point of his controlling nature. So I feel like the seed of it was when he took that necklace and held it over my head like it was something. Well, you want this back, and you gotta do this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? But so I feel like if there's somebody that's giving you things and taking them back, that's a part of their controlling nature. And I think somebody else said something like that, like they're only doing it just so you'll do something for them. I want to say it was Malcolm. You're only doing it so they'll do something for you, so they'll reciprocate. You know, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, there was a couple of other things, like he used to go through my phone and things like that, and I wasn't even doing anything. He was upset with me over relationships that I had before him. Like if he asked if I had done something of the sexual nature to someone prior to him, that he was mad at me, though this was years before him. You know what I'm saying? This was way before him. Like, he get mad at me. Oh, I can't believe you did that. I can't talk to you right now. Excuse me? Like, I could do this for you, but I couldn't have done it. How do you think How do you think we got here? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that is very toxic behavior. That was the point of me telling that story. For someone to give you something and then take it and then try to give you something else and then take it, I don't think anybody needs to be in a situation like that. So, Jeremy, if you have people that are doing things like that, I feel like you knowing the person that is in your circle is very, very important. I feed off energy and vibes, and I feel like that's something that all of us should be able to do, because you have to protect yourself and those around you. And those around you have to be protection worthy. So you have to know who you're dealing with close up to you. You know what I'm saying? So everything that someone gives you is not necessarily a gift. So you don't need to be accepting everything that someone gives you anyway, because it could be a seed like that was planted for something of your demise, and you don't want to get in that situation in general. So your discernment needs to come up. So you have to vet the people that you're letting, especially because you do like businessmen, and you let people into your home. And when you're inviting them in, you're inviting everything in with them. And then if they're leaving something there with you, they planted their little seed in your house. So you have to make sure that all of that is clear before you get to any type of situation like that, especially when things of the sort are involved. There's that. Was that clear? I need to break something down. Oh, okay. All right. And you know, I be trying to talk fast. That's why I'm talking. You know, she be wild up in here. She go, okay. Y'all ain't asking none of that. Okay, that's what I had to say.
Good point. Good point. I appreciate that. And you're right. Every gift shouldn't be taken. And I'm going to ask you guys this closing question, and we'll wrap this up for the night. And I appreciate everybody for their input. What is the best way to turn down a gift? And if you need a moment, I understand, but I really want to start with Mr. Stokes in here. What in your mind, what would be the best method of turning down a gift if you didn't feel comfortable?
I was just going to ask you back. I was going to ask for my Snuggie back that I gave you like 8 years ago. So I was just going to talk to you about that real quick.
I'm keeping the Joker Snuggie, bro. I should have wrapped.
Like, it all depends. Like, what I usually do is, like, if I don't feel like we're there yet, if it's like an expensive gift, you know what I mean? Something like that. Like, I just say, like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, because, like, sometimes there's that expectation of things that go along with it. Kind of letting them know from there. Because, yeah, I've had a couple things asked back, but, like, I've never just been bold enough to ask for something back. Like, if I give you something, like, that's it. Like, especially like K. Marie was saying, she had somebody got a chain for her, and with her name on it, was like, no, I want that back for the next one, for the next girl with the exact same name. So, no, I don't. I just tell them, you know, if I think it's too soon, or, you know, I really appreciate the thought, you know, I don't. Yeah, I just tell them, like, I appreciate the thought.
Straight up. I want to go next to Rob. What about you, bro?
You're saying if I want to ask for a gift back, or if I want to decline the gift?
If you want to decline a gift.
I just be like, Yeah, that's kind of hard because I don't really get too many gifts. But if I don't want some, I just be like, nah, I have to, you know what I'm saying, decline this offer and whatever comes with it. Like, I don't, if it's too lavish or something like that, like I just be like, yo, you doing too much. I don't know what you got going on. I don't know if you're trying to trick me or whatever. I might get like slightly hostile and think like they trying to get over on me with something and be like, nah, you tripping right now. Send that back to the sender. Like I can't accept this. Like give me something small. Like buy me like some Taco Bell and mess my stomach up. But yeah, I can't accept nothing like super major or anything like that. So I just be like, I'm good. Like I might not text you ever again or something like that. Cause like yeah, like I just be like, nah, I can't do it.
Well, I hope you don't ghost him. I really hope you don't ghost him. That's not the way to go.
He will.
I mean, it's not, but at the same time, like because I feel like it's something behind
Right.
a crazy gift. You feel me? So I just have to properly decline and not talk to them again.
I guess.
Yeah, like how would you decline a gift?
Like the way I did earlier today.
I guess.
That lady offered to buy me lunch. I should have went ahead and did that shit though.
Man, tell them.
Hey, just listen. Nah, it was this old white lady offered to buy me lunch at work. I should have took this shit. Anyway, I don't know. Like I'm like weird about getting gifts because I don't really ask for nothing, and I don't know. I've been in a relationship for 4 years, so it's like when I get a gift, it's always from my girlfriend, and she'll give me something that like I didn't really realize that I wanted. So I feel like I don't know. I'm kind of like past. I don't know. You're a different person when you've been with somebody for so long, bro.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of this shit that people be talking about, like relationships and shit like that, shit don't apply to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then people troll. Like that's another thing too. Like I think it's like you gotta comb through the trolls on the internet. But as far as like accepting gifts, I mean, shit, they offered it. There's no reason not to. I'm different, bro. I'm from up north, so if somebody give me something and want it back later, then they chalk. That's just me. That's
yeah,
just
they're wild.
Yeah, but yeah, you got it.
All right.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. That is. Ebony, what you got for me? How would you decline a gift?
Well, personally, if I give gifts, I view it as investing in you, in our friendship, in our relationship, you know, whatever it is. So when I invest in somebody, I'm giving them something to let them know that, hey, I care about you. This is me kind of like feeding you. This is trying to show you how much you mean to me, because I'm cool with buying you things, but I don't just do it for everybody. So this is how I look at it. If I don't know, I can't give you an example because I ain't bought nothing for nobody in a while. But put it like this: me and my friends, all three of us had the same necklace on. So when I bought that for them, it wasn't me trying to buy their friendship. It's saying we're this close as friends. So I want to, you know what I'm saying? My money is important to me. My time is important to me. So for my time to be important, my money must be important. So if I'm spending my money on you, that means that you're important. That's how I look at it. So if somebody took the time out, even if I don't like the gift, I keep it. Now, if they're going to ask for it back, I'll be petty and do something to it, but I ain't going to tell them what I'm going to do to it.
But how would
depends on what it is.
How would you say no, though? That's my question. If you're
How would I say
uncomfortable
no?
with the gift, yes. How do you decline the gift?
I wouldn't say no, like I said, because I know how my values are toward them with giving them a gift. I wouldn't decline a gift that they're giving me. I would take it.
Even if you're uncomfortable with a gift, you're going to take
How many
gift.
times your mama bought you clothes that you don't wear?
But that's a necessity. This is different. I'm asking
it doesn't matter whether it's a necessity or at all. You can buy yourself clothes, but do you accept the clothes that your mama buy you?
I disagree, love. I disagree with you there. If somebody wants to buy
You
me a
asked
gift,
me how I would do it, and I told you I wouldn't.
let me
That's
give
my
you a
personal.
clear-cut scenario then. Let me make this
Are you
less
trying to
vague.
convince me or teach me?
Neither. I'm just trying to give you a clearer picture of the scenario I'm painting. A
Okay.
gentleman you just met buys you a 4-carat diamond ring. Y'all only been dating for a week. How do you decline?
When it happens, I'll let you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You said something that really kind of triggered me.
But it's because of your perception of what I said. Because I saw your face.
Well, dang, can I get it out? Can I recite it? I agree,
but I'm
though.
just saying, because of our conversation prior to this point,
Right.
I understand where you are coming from personally with it. But you didn't take it the way that I meant it. And I saw it in your face.
That's why I said personal. Me. Mine.
Okay.
I ain't say everybody. I ain't say men. I said mine, referring to Jeremy. The words invest in you turns it as red flag. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Invest in me? So when you invest in me, you expect a what? Return.
Yeah,
that bothered me.
But how do you figure that the return has to be the exact same way that I'm giving it? Because I may invest my time by volunteering, but I'm getting something. I'm getting a return by volunteering as well because I'm helping somebody. That feeds my spirit.
I agree.
It's
I'm just
feeding
saying,
their spirit, but it is still an exchange. It may be an exchange, but it doesn't have to be the exact same way. Because don't I buy you food?
Yeah, you bought me
numerous. How many times Chinese have I asked you to buy me food?
None.
Okay, that's my point. The way I said it is how I said it. But you didn't perceive it that way. You perceived it based off your perception of how other people have done you. But you know me.
Isn't that what perception is?
No, because you know me personally. And like I just stated,
perception
you know
is what you are based on your position, love. That's literally the definition of perception.
But I'm saying your relationship with those people and your relationship with me, are they the same?
No, but what I'm saying is based on the key word. I'm not talking about who said it. I said keyword. Let me say that again. I didn't say who said what was said. I said the key word raised a red flag. That's my point.
But you know, I'm a finance major, so I love using
that's
finance.
That's not what I'm going.
That's why I'm saying
that's not what I'm going.
It goes back to that discernment, is what I'm saying. Like
I get that. I'm not talking about that. That's my point. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a key word in a sentence that was said. I didn't say a key word that Ebony did. I said a key word was said, and that triggered me, not Ebony's action. That's what I'm trying to convey. So it isn't so much as who
was based off of other people. It wasn't based off of me.
No, the trigger is off of the reaction of the past, but the trigger is what came. Let me give you an example. Someone might relapse based off of an experience. You don't blame the people that they're around. It's the traumatic experience that causes them to react that way. That's all I'm saying. Someone can have the purest intentions, but if someone relates it to something hurtful or traumatic, it still causes it. It doesn't matter, no offense. It doesn't matter what your intentions were. It was just this caused this. It doesn't mean what's right or wrong. That's all I'm saying. If I'm not making sense, somebody stop me immediately. Please.
I've lived with addicts. I know exactly what you mean. There's certain things that, particularly from, I'll talk about drug addicts. There's certain things that you might do, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's, you don't even think about it, but they'll see it and it reminds them of their addiction. And now they're thinking, nah, I need to go shoot up or some shit like that.
Correct.
I've lived with addicts. So like, you know what I mean? So you have to be cognizant of that if you know who you're dealing with. But that's the thing, you got to know who you're dealing with. You don't know if you're triggering somebody if you just met them. But if y'all know each other, I feel like there's some context there. There's some wiggle room.
Well, that's what my point was the context. He knows me that when I say certain words, it's not necessarily me trying to trigger him, but he should know he should have the security in what we have as brother and sister to know that if I buy him something, I'm not expecting him to do something for me tomorrow.
Right.
because he has that relationship from the past with me personally to go off of. We've already built the relationship as brother and sister, so you don't have to worry about what those other people did to you when it comes to me. That's all I'm saying. Be secure in our friendship.
But I don't think he's talking about you specifically. I'm saying that like he's maybe heard that terminology before, and that's what's actually causing the issue. So he's not saying that you have said this and that since you said this one term, now your whole friendship and everything like that has changed. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It just has to do with just what that terminology and what it represents to him.
Yeah, but I felt like he was trying to.
It's not about you though. It's not about you at all.
He asked me a question though, a personal question.
I did, but I was saying I went to a whole nother point, saying but this word triggers me. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I understand the word triggers you, but I feel like the word shouldn't trigger you when it's coming from me. That's all I'm saying.
He's not saying you had the gun. He's saying there was a gun.
Okay. I understand what everybody's saying, but I'm just going to agree to disagree.
Okay. That's right.
If there needs to be an off-camera conversation, we cool like that.
No, we fine. We fine, baby.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. For the sake of the show, everybody, you guys have a great night.
Oh,
and I'm going to mute I'm just going to mute my phone. I'm not going nowhere.
Right. K Marie, what you got, love? How would you decline the gift?
Oh, you just gonna call me up after all this?
It's in order on my screen. That's how I'm doing.
Okay, we're here now. All right. Okay. Well, if I'm getting something, I want to know why. So, you know me. What is that? What made you do that? And depending on what you said, depends on how I'm gonna decline it. If I feel like, it's not like if you try to. Say if I was having a hard time, but I'm not, I'm making it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no help. I'm making it. And you like, well, let me give you this hundo. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. No, let me give you this hundo, okay? No, I'm good. Thank you. Let me give you this hundo. You gonna try to give it to me? I'm gonna take it, and then before you leave, I'm gonna put it in your back pocket because I told you I didn't want it. So I guess if any means necessary, so I'm going to decline it if I don't feel like the gift needs to come to me, or if it's somebody and it's something expensive. Yeah, I say, oh, what is that? Why? Oh no, babe, keep that. Oh no. But Kay, I really want no. It's okay. It's all right. Keep that. I'm a jokester, so I'm gonna make some kind of light mood out of it. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody, real bad energy, I just don't feel like they're gonna get close enough for that. So there's that. I can't deal. Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm a simple gal. No means no.
Right.
You gonna take it back? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got for you on that. Perfect. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't want. I'm gonna give him that face.
All right. Well, attorney, I want to hear you next, bro. How would you decline the gift?
I had to take a deep sigh before I even took this out. I ain't declining shit. No, I'm playing. So I'm not used to getting things. And not to stoke the flames of this fire, because I understand where we just went and where we're coming from. However, I definitely identify with you, sir, on why that word particularly triggers you. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier about reciprocation. When it comes to giving gifts, because I'm not used to getting gifts, when someone gets me something nice, it almost feels like an investment within me. It feels like you want something in return, especially if I haven't done anything of that nature for you.
Right.
If I haven't done anything on the level of like, you can't go buy me a Movado tomorrow, and I've only known you for 2 weeks, just because I say I like Movado watches. You probably also heard me talk about a bunch of other little shit that I like gummy bears, a specific kind. I'm cool if you go buy me a $3 pack of gummy bears. I am not cool if you go buy me a $2,000 watch, and I've only been knowing you for 2 weeks. There's a That's what I understand what you mean when you talk about turning down gifts. Um, it's really, really hard for me to accept things from people I don't know. And like my boy was saying earlier, when you've been in a relationship for so long, most of the gifts that you get come from your significant other. So for anybody else to do anything really, really nice for you, unless y'all have that type of relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like I got, Kay is like my sister. You know what I'm saying? Kay Marie is like my sister. So it's one thing if she got me something and I'd be like, okay, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Da, da, da. I would accept that from her. You know what I'm saying? Because we have built that relationship. She is my sister, and I understand that a gift coming from her is not it's coming from her because it's coming out of love.
Mhm.
And I think that's the discernment that has to be taken into play. You can't. I don't think I would decline a gift from somebody that I respect, that I love, that I know. But for anybody that I don't really know like that, I would simply just tell them, hey, I really, really appreciate this. However, I don't feel like we on this level quite yet. And so I would, maybe down the line you can hold on to it. And if you feel like I'm worth it later, then we can revisit this, because I'm not opposed to regifting me something that you wanted to give me and I just said no to at the same time. You just kind of have to let them down, I guess, gently, so to speak. And basically tell them, hey, thank you, but no thank you. Let's start off a little bit smaller, and then maybe we can get to that. And I think that's how I would have to go with that. But that's my 2 cents.
I like the way that was worded, bro. Maybe not now, but maybe down the line. You know what I'm saying? It is not a no forever, but it's a no for now. So
Right.
I like that. I like that.
Yep.
All right, Kalo here DJing. Go ahead and tell me how you would turn down the gift, Kalo.
How I would turn on the gift?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would kind of avoid the conversation, really. I'm gonna be honest. I avoid I'll stop the whole conversation, and just, if they decide to do it, that'll be on them. But it'd be me avoiding any type of
That's fucking hilarious. I just gotta say,
like, for real, like any type. I avoid it, like, for real. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want nothing from you. I'm quick to tell somebody, I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I don't want nothing to do with it. All I ask for is peace, and that's it. If you give me peace, I'm good. That's it. I don't want no gifts. Don't give me no gifts. I don't want it.
That is, y'all. That being said, I think we can close the book here, man. We've been talking for 2 hours. I'm thirsty. I ain't got no more wine. Shout out to Stella Rose.
Hello.
Hey, turn up. We meeting up at K-Lob's next time. But no.
Go on.
Look, I polished off mine.
I was over here looking half asleep, love. That's the reason why.
I saw you over there hit that lean.
It was over with.
When she hit that elbow, I was like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Listen to Keisha Cole.
Yeah.
So, but again, I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I thank you all for coming tonight. I would love to continue this conversation regarding gifts on another episode, because I feel like that's a whole nother topic within itself, because we could talk about motives all day.
But I got a question though. Okay?
What up?
Question, because I feel like another topic should be, how you say you in another relationship, right? I mean, say you was in a relationship, y'all broke up or whatever, but y'all was together for a long time, so y'all got like.
So,
where's she go?
I'll
tune in next time for another episode of SquadGoals.
Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
Boy, I'm dead. You gotta end this recording, please.
Right.
It's so funny.
On the next episode of SquadGoals.
Yeah. Well, you just have to tune into the next episode to see what the
Find out
hell.
next time.
Right.
What happens when you're in a relationship for a long time.